Canada is signing a deal with Finnish telecom giant Nokia to conduct 5G research. Nokia is a rival to Chinese telecom giant Huawei. For more on the implications and what this means, CTV's Michelle Boyer is standing by in Ottawa. Michelle, there was a lot of questions over which way Canada would go with this. And of course, the Huawei story is a whole another story of its own. Let me ask you first off about this contract, though, with Nokia. What are we learning?
Well, we know that it is up to about $40 million with the company. By the way, they do have operations here in Canada, including in Mississauga, as well as Canada. So that could also translate to jobs. Now, Nokia is one of the companies that is a competitor of Huawei. There's also Ericsson that are some of the companies that are being looked at to help major telecom corporations like BCE, which owns CTV, as well as TELUS to build the country's next 5G the 5G network right across this country. But as you pointed out, there are concerns that have been brought up with Huawei technology. It's actually in the middle of a national security review that is underway. And there are concerns about a backdoor in some of its technology that could allow China access to the technology for the use of spying. So this latest announcement coming from multiple sources that we've been able to confirm this information with, Todd.
Obviously, 5G is, considered to be, Michelle, the next big thing, as you're alluding to.
Yep.
I mean, faster, better telecommunications, but you got to build out the infrastructure. And this is where it became tricky. We know many key allies to Canada, the United States, the Brits, the Australians, New Zealanders have all stepped away from using Huawei when it comes to 5G for exactly what you're saying. Concerns about the possibility of backdoors and Huawei's ties to the Chinese government and Chinese intelligence, and on it goes, something Huawei has long denied. But bigger picture, and I mentioned this a moment ago, there is, of course, this ongoing spat now between Canada and China over Huawei and their chief financial officer, Meng Wanzhou.
That's right. And we've also heard threats as recently as last week from China's ambassador here in Canada, saying that there will be repercussions, consequences if Canada decides eventually to ban the 5G technology from Huawei. But Canada not taking any chances. If in fact Canada does not bar Huawei, that could also have other implications with our allies, because we are part of the Five Eyes community that includes countries like New Zealand, Japan, the United States, and there is a sharing of information. So, there are security experts who say that if Canada adopts Huawei, then that effectively is an open door to the rest of the network, which is something that has a lot of experts very, very worried about, Todd.
And it comes at the same time, Michelle, you've probably noticed this too, where you are in the capital, where Huawei is making a big PR push in Canada. A lot of advertising across the country to sell their handsets and their devices as well, to try to get Canadians to switch over from rivals like Apple, Nokia, and others.
Yeah, and, we've seen those ads on social media. There are also Canadian jobs, I do want to point out, here in this country. But ultimately, what we do know and what I've been told is that if in fact the door is open to Huawei and the companies like Bell, like TELUS start rolling out the technology, they're going to be spending billions and billions and billions of dollars on these networks, because the antennas, unlike the antennas that we have right now for LTE, for example, they can go far apart. 5G technology, you need a lot of antennas very close to each other. So we're talking about a lot of money. So they want to get this right from the get-go, because making companies change technology down the line is going to be astronomically more expensive.
CTV's Michelle Boyer with the latest news. Canada signing a deal with Finnish telecom giant Nokia to conduct research into this upcoming 5G network in our country, choosing Nokia, not Huawei, as far as we can tell. Thank you for this, Michelle.
You bet. Thanks.